Easter Monday, but news is always around us. Some not too good, but some good news as well. And Mamavi has already joined us. Mamavi, good morning to you.
Hi, Ro.
Yeah.
Good morning.
And I know that you're on standby to give us some latest as well.
Yeah.
Kojo, what's some good news we're getting?
Well, there's quite a lot of news out there. A Ghanaian has distinguished himself quite well on the global stage, and Mamavi will be telling us more about that in a bit. Ghanaians tend to really excel, stand out when they are put to task in other parts of the world. It's no surprise that this particular one has also made such a good name for himself. Yeah. Am I right, Mamavi?
Yes, absolutely, Kojo. But we also go to Kumasi. There was another fire last night, and it's been more like series of it. What's happening? Erastus Asaridonko, our colleague with Love FM in Kumasi, will join us to talk about yesterday's fire at Asafo. And the other ones, have they figured out what's happening as well? We'll try and touch base also with the Kumasi mayor. But let's do myjawline.com. It's a holiday. Newspapers are holidaying, but myjawline.com is very active. So let's do myjawline.com. Let's check out what's making headlines. Well, Ghanaians hail National Chief Imam for joining Easter service. We know that he was at Christ the King. He turns 100 tomorrow, Tuesday, but there's been more of a lineup of activities marking his 100th birthday. It's on myjawline.com. You can check out the photos. JoyNews gets results. Mango Tideke Maternity Center project gets ICAG support, and we're definitely keeping a close eye on this and updating you all the way through. Remember, this is the community that Gifty and Apia visited. They drink, I mean, that picture of them drinking that dirty water was appalling, really. It was heartbreaking. And following that story, we've gotten lots of support, and now they're getting their own health facility and getting support as well. Okay, now there are photos. Thrilling Joy FM Easter Soup Kitchen rounds to a close with thousands in attendance. This is something that Joy FM does every year and was no different yesterday, and lots of people at the Efwa Sutherland Children's Park got some support. The health screening is really important to these people, because remember, throughout the year, probably don't visit the hospital. The sugar projects, Kojo was in also very visible there yesterday, because they were part of the screening exercise. Okay, all right, let's move on. Millions using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as password. Security study finds. So I'm going to find out from you guys. What's your password?
It's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, I think I have an app that I use 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
really?
That's bad. If you're watching as a holiday and your password is 1, 2, 3, 4,
but it's also because it's not
5, 6.
It's not
please change it now. Change it right now.
The only thing that has such a simple password in my life is the Bluetooth in my car. But that one is even printed on the screen. It says password 0000. Apart from that, every other password I have is seriously complex.
Somebody's birthday?
No.
No, really?
Those are not complex either.
Okay. All right.
But
if it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know what to do. Change it right now. Yeah. You have a lot of time. It's a holiday. Change it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Otumfuo at 20. Yana Muhammad's arrival blocks Maisha traffic. Okay, this is one of the many stories from yesterday's ceremony. So you'd find there are more. Ghanaian scholar appointed 15 presidents of Millersville University. That's what Kojo was talking about a while back. We will talk about Dr. Daniel Wuba in a bit. And then, National Chief Imam worships with Christians on Easter Sunday. We've got all the photos on myjawline.com. And then also in pictures, climax of majestic Otumfuo 20 anniversary. Lots of other stories on the page. Asafo market on fire again. There are chaotic scenes. Imagine from the Ashanti regional capital Kumasi as another outbreak of fire that Asafo market keeps the city awake. My colleague Erastus Asaridonko joins us on the phone. Erastus, good morning to you. You reported this fire yesterday. Tell us how it started.
Well, so the cause of the fire is not known at the moment, but already many traders are pointing accusing fingers at their own colleagues, and they're saying that many of them, when they contract loans and they cannot pay, then they set the market on fire just not to pay their loans. That is the working theory at the moment.
Interesting.
But then the fire started in the midsection of the Asafo market, and already when we got there, about 15 shops were already on fire, and then it spread to other points. And so as we were leaving yesterday, when the fire service were able to create a perimeter around the fire, we could count over 30 shops razed to the ground. And all through the night, some of the traders were trying to pick what they can salvage from their shops before the fire spread to that point. But I must also put on record that one firefighter got injured, and in fact, he narrowly escaped falling from the story building you saw earlier in your picture. They were trying to quench the fire from that story building. There were holes inside the stair, and he went through one of those holes, and fortunately he was able to grab on to something, one of the brick walls, and so it prevented him from falling right from the second floor down and breaking his leg. I would say that afterwards blood was oozing from his ankle and it was swollen, but he was still trying to fight the fire with it. So far we have about 30 shops razed to the ground, and this is the second time we are having fire gutting portions of the Asafo market in 3 days.
Erasmus, this is the second time in 3 days. Where did the first one happen?
Well, so the first one happened some few meters from where this particular one happened, just behind the one that is burning. We have the first one occurring. That's 3 days ago.
And do we know the cause of that fire as well?
It's not known. The fire service personnel are still conducting their investigations. But you know, it's very interesting that all these fires that have engulfed the central market, the Asafo market, and other areas, the reports are always made known as either caused by faulty electrical cables or possible arson. But nothing is done. All the recommendations are still on the shelves, and so we have these things repeating themselves. I've heard the Kumasi mayor say that all their clues are pointing to arson this time around, just like the traders are saying. And so they are going to conduct further checks to establish that.
Yesterday, you also did reports that there were some traders who were rushing in to see what they could take away from the fire before it got to their shops. Can you report on that?
Exactly. And they were dangerously putting their lives at stake and working alongside the fire service. And even when you could see debris, hot debris falling from the skies and onto their shops, they were still running in there, salvaging as much as they can. You know, these are leather workers, local shoemakers who work and produce slippers for sale. And so they say that that is their only source of livelihood. If they stand there and watch it burn, then it's like they have nothing. And so many of them were risking their lives, bringing out items. And looters were also taking advantage of the situation, stealing items from the fire as well.
There was also fire at the Kumasi Central Market. This is a different market, correct?
Yes, this is the Asafo market. And the first fire, which occurred 3 days ago, again, was at the other portion of the central market.
So, Mayor, looking at arson, traders pointing accusing fingers at other traders, what do they intend doing about this?
In fact, we are yet to see what will be done, or whether it will end up just like the other fires we've witnessed in the course of the year. Recommendations still sitting on their shelves, nothing being done about it. So in the coming days, we'll see what authorities will do. But in the past, such fires have not received any work at all concerning the recommendations that were made. If you remember the Central Market fires, the recommendations were made that the entire market should be rewired. Authorities said, well, they are going to construct a new market, and so there was no point hurrying to rewire the entire market, and so they left it as it is. And 3 days ago, we witnessed another fire close to the Dr. Mensah area. And so that is the state at the moment. We are yet to see whether something will be done concerning this one.
And we're still battling with the issue of accessibility, right? Even when there's fire.
And this one, there was serious congestion, and the fire service personnel could not even move their cables inside the market to quench it. It took hours for them to be able to maneuver with the help of the traders themselves to try to create a perimeter to prevent it from spreading to other shops.
Today is a holiday, Erastus. We're not expecting that there will be market activities, so we won't see much happening in the market, would we?
No, not much will be happening. In fact, today, many of the traders will not be selling their wares, but as it is now, they will go there in their numbers, and they've been there throughout the night, I must say, to still try to pick up the pieces from today.
Erastus Asaridonko, well, thank you very much. Can I just move on with you to Otumfuo's 20th celebration? You were there. Can you just paint a picture to us? How did it all end?
In fact, it was a massive display of tradition and culture of the Ashanti people. Not the Ashanti people alone, because we had representation from across Ghana, from the Volta region, from the northern region, from neighboring Togo, Nigeria, La Côte d'Ivoire, you know, display of culture. And we had the overlord of Dagon coming in with his entourage yesterday. It was just beautiful, and for hours, people trying to catch a glimpse of the Dagon overlord. It brought, you know, the human traffic to a standstill right there at the Menchia Palace. Everybody wanted to catch a glimpse of the overlord of Dagon, and so the security had a tough time controlling the crowd at that particular moment. But I must say that it was a total display of rich culture to the dignitaries who came.
Is it all over, Erastus?
Well, we still have some business seminars to be organized by the Menchia Palace for Ghanaians in the diaspora and investors across the continent coming in to see what they can do for Asanteman. But I must also say that Otumfuo has outlined a 10-year development plan, which includes, my favorite, the construction and completion of the mother and baby unit, the 1,000 capacity mother and baby unit at the Komfo Teaching Hospital. They've got a UK firm bringing in $90 million through the machinations, or let me say the works of Otumfuo. So it's going to be completed, plus other notable development ventures put down by Otumfuo. So all these are going to come up in the coming days, where Otumfuo will be trying to liaise with the people for development to continue. This
is very interesting, and I think we will talk about it for a while, because we heard not too long ago government securing some funds to also finish that project. I wonder if it's the same.
Well, it was part of Otumfuo's speech. That he liaised with government to secure this particular fund that is going to complete the hospital for us. And so, yes, it is a teamwork between the Menchia Palace and government as well, as Otumfuo has been saying. But then we also have other projects earmarked. You know, he's going to also cut commission, I must say, the Central Market project, the new Central Market project, which will be coming in the coming days as well. That's part of the activities to totally climax the 20th anniversary.
Amazing. And on the Dagbon issue, because really that's the can we say the last big thing that he's done in his 20 years? I guess that's why lots of people wanted to either get a glimpse of the Dagbon kin.
Exactly. It's something that fascinates the Ashantis. They think that their kin has been very instrumental in that landmark solution to a problem that has existed for years. And not that alone, even within his own locality, you know, cases that have been pending in court, some for 28 years, he used just 1 year and some of them 6 months to resolve them. These are chieftaincy issues that have been pending in the court for years. And when he came, he set up a committee, and he's been able to bring all those cases under control within a matter of 3 years. And that is also something that people are talking about a lot during his 20-year reign.
Just before you go, Erastus, let's talk about some of the leaders who were there yesterday. I see former presidents. Current president, of course, was there. Who else was there?
Well, so we have a lot of diplomats coming in. We have the vice president of Suriname, who gave a speech yesterday as well. And his proverb that he gave actually got the crowd laughing in Chi, actually. Then we had some representatives from Togo, Nigeria as well. We have Olusegun Obasanjo, also gracing the occasion. We had the former president, John Mahama, also coming in. The vice president was there. The Speaker of Parliament and some leaders in Parliament also came in. We had the former First Lady, Nana Rawlings, also gracing the occasion. Quite a number of people. I've lost count of it. I don't have the list in front of me now.
Yeah. I can understand, Erastus. I'll leave you so you can recover. It's a holiday. Enjoy it. Erastus Asaridonko talking to us about Otumfuo at 20th anniversary. And earlier we talked about the Asafo market fire as well. Guys, I don't know. Let's talk about this particular one, Otumfuo at 20, as we're rolling the pictures there. What do you guys make of Otumfuo at 20?
Well, I think his contribution to Ghana is significant. It's remarkable. Those who know him personally recognize him as a rather laid-back, calm person. But when issues arise, he tends to really dedicate his time, effort, and resources to resolving them. And he has, I think he's picked his battles well. He has got himself involved with problems he can solve. That in itself is a leadership skill that not many Ghanaians have.
Yeah.
You know, he picks problems he can solve. He gets involved and he solves them, and he makes a massive difference. Yeah. And I think sometimes in a world where everybody has an issue, everybody has a headache, I think sometimes we should be circumspect in our choices of crusades. But this is interesting that he has secured through his own connections and his own network.
It's more like a collaboration with government. So
yes, that makes it even more important. $90 million US.
Yeah.
Now, you were right. About a week ago, we heard Parliament also approve two loans, 122.5 million and 132.5 million euros, which makes up a 155 million euro debt that the government is entering into for the same purpose of completing the mother and baby, maternity block at Komfanoche Teaching Hospital. So Otumfuo and government have got $90 million for this project. Parliament has approved 155 million euros for the same project. Meanwhile, the cost of completing this same block, according to the engineers in 2016, yes, in 2017, according to the engineers in 2017, was $75 million. All right, now 155 million euros comes to something like $174 million. That's almost double what Otumfuo and government say they are borrowing for this same project. All right, so now which money will be used for the project and what will be done with the rest? Parliament has approved the loan. So now that Otumfuo has announced this, does this mean we won't go for the loan any longer? Why is the loan for so much? Almost double what, in fact, more than double what the engineers said it would cost. What's going on here? Some clarification is definitely needed.
I think that perhaps if we get to Parliament, we'll get to know what the content of the loan.
Okay, so I just open up
for the Komfanoche.
Yeah, but the itemized works are all stated in the agreement.
But which of the two amounts will be used for it?
Well, I just have to go.
Well, this will be more like early stages, right? Because I've pulled up the story, but it says Parliament has approved a 155 million euro loan for the completion and equipping of the maternity and children's block of the Komfanoche Teaching Hospital. Yeah. Estimated cost of the project is 138.50 million.
When did we get there?
And it will take 3 years to complete, but the health minister has assured that due to the over 40-year delay in its completion, the ministry will be working with the contractors to complete it ahead of schedule.
So when did we get from 75 million to 138.5 million? Because that 75 million included equipping it. And we have the clips. You and I, Mamavi, hosted a show there, where we talked about this, and we have the clips. It says 75 million to complete and equip it.
Yeah.
The dollar hasn't depreciated.
Maybe these are new contractors.
Yeah, then one of them was lying. One of the contractors was lying, and we really should be careful.
All right, but this means we have a lot more work to do because we are asking a lot of questions and we need to follow up and try and get some answers. But these are two credit agreements. That's where the money is coming from. Yeah. And
this is all aside from what Otumfuo announced.
It could be the same.
How?
Let's check.
How
because if it's collaborating with government, and this is what government has announced,
the government is borrowing two specific figures.
Yeah.
135 million euros and 132 million euros and 32 million euros.
Yeah.
Neither of those is $90 million. Neither of those amounts is $90 million, which was the specific amount.
So we're still asking questions, which means there's some clarification to be done. So we'll follow up on this. Yeah. Okay. One other issue that Newsfile tackled on Saturday that I thought we should talk about is this issue of Ashawan. It went away. It came back. Well, it didn't quite go away because we know that Occupy Ghana had written to get some answers. It came back in a very surprising way because the senior minister commented on this issue. And that generated a lot. Like, people are commenting on this. Now, let's listen to Ben Duche Malo, who was on Newsfile on Saturday, and Sam George as well on this matter.
Just heard the senior minister, someone who has held various key portfolios under previous governments, someone with a lot of clout, saying that somebody can come from another country into Ghana, commit a crime, flout the rules and the laws of Ghana, but for some other economic considerations, we will let that person go. And then we come to the Chinese ambassador to Ghana. Right now, if you're a conscientious Ghanaian, there are several emotions running across. Why should it take the Chinese ambassador to tell us what we should ourselves be telling ourselves? Should we Ghanaians give this man a prize for brutal honesty in telling us where the problem lies? And we are hearing this man says, we don't know where your gold is. You are the ones showing us where the gold is. We don't issue visas. You Ghanaians are the one issuing visas, not to decent, law-abiding Chinese who are coming to set up factories and employ Ghanaians. You are bringing in Chinese. Clearly, he's saying you're bringing in Chinese who are doing things that I and my government do not subscribe to. And when you catch them, you don't even inform me, so that as I am obliged by international norms to take these law-breaking criminal people of my country who came here without my consent, my government's consent, and then deal with them, but you still release them. He's calling a spade a shovel, not even a spade. And it's a direct indictment on all of us Ghanaians, whether we are good, whether we are striving. This is a clear indictment. You cannot fault the Chinese ambassador.
Okay, so truth. I mean, you would say that he actually broke away from the diplomatic mold, because in strict diplomatic sense or terms, he would not have spoken that way. But you realize that he's gotten to a point where he needed to call a spade a shovel, as Senior Ben said, and tell us, look, the problem is not my people. Or my people may be the problem, or be part of the problem, but the facilitation of my people is you, the Ghanaian people. You understand me? And so the real fight against Galamsey, we're basically engaging in a talk shop. We're basically doing sound bites governance. We say the right things. It gives fantastic sound bites and inserts for news headlines. You have the sound bites that you played. Fantastic insert. I'm ready to put my presidency on the line. Mr. President, putting your presidency on the line would have been you deciding that, look, Sino-Hydro or no Sino-Hydro, I will prosecute Aisha Juan to serve as a deterrent. And let the Chinese government say they would not give Ghana aid, and see if the Ghanaian people will not stand with you as president, because they know you're fighting for the posterity of this country.
Okay, so this was on Newsfile last Saturday. We're having our own here. Was the senior minister speaking the truth? Is it the truth that we're uncomfortable with? Could he have said it in a different way? Not in the way that he said it, but my director, Fred Potiphar, if you're ready with the senior minister's clip, okay, let's play it now.
A very good relationship with China. They're the main company that is helping develop the infrastructure system in Ghana. Is Sino-Hydro. It's a Chinese company. It's the one that's going to help process our bauxite and provide about $2 billion to us. So when there are these kind of arrangements, there are other things behind the scenes. Putting that lady in jail in Ghana is not going to solve your economic problems. It's not going to make you happy or me happy. That's not important. The most important thing that is being imported out of Ghana. So we must say it's not wrong. I'm saying that there are many other things beyond what you see in these matters. And everybody is wide awake. The most important thing is that we have planned this, we have established relations, and we are protecting our environment. And that is far more important than one Chinese woman who has been imported.
Okay, punishing Aisha Juan for flouting our regulations, allegedly committing a crime, if you like, would not really solve our economic problems, would it, gentlemen?
I don't know who punishing armed robbers, killers, which of those will solve our economic problems. But it's very interesting. You talk about the possibility that perhaps we were being told the simple truth. And that is a real possibility. Perhaps somewhere unspoken in an agreement between China and Ghana, they said, look, leave our Galamsey people alone. Maybe that's true. Maybe what is more likely is that Aisha Juan was very, very well connected in the Ghanaian political framework. Maybe she herself had secured her own freedom through the relationships and connections she had built, whether through finances, through sex, extortion, whatever. Maybe she had secured her own get-out-of-jail-free card. We don't know. Maybe it's the Chinese, this unspoken agreement to which Dr. Asafo was alluding. But ultimately, we should also take into context the fact that the Chinese ambassador says, we didn't even know when you what's it called, repatriated the woman. When you deported her, we didn't know. We had no idea. And you make your own laws. You know where your gold is. You give visas. So if people come from China and break the law here, please enforce your laws. That's what the Chinese ambassador is telling us. So we have to put all of this in context and ask ourselves, well, like you said, is it that it's an uncomfortable truth, an inconvenient truth? Or are we simply trying to cover up a corrupt system that protects Galamseyers? Because Aisha Juan is not the only Galamseyer getting away with it. Sometimes I want to say certain things, but
okay, don't.
I won't say them, bro.
No, but I think that whether there was an indecision, or maybe government thought that there was a certain rationale in trying to let her go into her country was the best decision in lieu of the fact that we're having some negotiations or discussion with China was another thing. Now, the problem is, after all the things that have, or the drama that has transpired, is the Chinese ambassador, that seemed to have poured hot water into all the arguments that we seem to be making. And so the thinking was maybe the senior minister's speech at the time was because we decided to compromise. But the ambassador is telling us that China really would have no difficulty with us picking one citizen to be an example of over 1 billion Chinese citizens in that country and across the world who are moving in and out. Again, there's an estimate. They have 88 million people who are outside China, and this is good statistics, who are representing China and also trading on their own and not being sanctioned by their government. The Chinese already give incentives. It's something that the Communist Party does. If you know you have good plan, you have a good business plan, you have a corporation within China, they give you a stimulus. When you're coming out of China, you want to go and do investment somewhere, in your local province or wherever, you get stimulus. But it doesn't mean that if you're a country and you're assertive, then you cannot assert that right. And I think that Ghana is compromising on many other related things. We're not the only country in Africa that produces gold. South Africa does. And the Chinese ambassador did indicate, why is it that their citizens will readily not just make entry into Johannesburg or wherever and go to the mining areas and go and mine? It's for good reason. It's made foolish what we thought was a good reason, and so we decided to let her go.
But you know, let me tell you this.
We have to do.
Sorry, just one little thing. It's legitimate business that the Chinese government supports, not illegal.
Of
mining.
course.
And
the thing is that the Chinese, when they are coming in, they don't tell their government that they're coming to do.
Okay, guys,
illegal
we have to go.
Galamsey.
I thought we would talk about the Sri Lanka issue, especially because this is a period of Easter. No, we can't, because we have to do sport. But just to tell you, it's a wave of bombers in Sri Lanka. 200 people more dead now, 290. That's the death toll. About 500 people injured. And this happened in churches and in some luxury hotels, it has been reported. So you can check out the full details of this. This is Easter. This is a period of forgiveness. And really, when we didn't think that we will wake up to this news. But let's just to finish up before we bring you sports. In Ukraine, there's a comedian. Well, he's a comedian. He really didn't talk about issues, like serious issues during the campaign. But suddenly, he's president of Ukraine. Yeah, you can check out that story as well. That's him. He joked with it. And now he is Mr. President. He's got about a month to put himself together so that we see really what he can do. Zelensky is his name. You can check all of that. You can go to myjoyonline.com, and this is from the BBC page, so you can check out that as well. Guys, we'll be back with a lot more, but we have to do sports.
Yeah, definitely.
I hit sports this morning.
Oh,
no,
God,
Manchester
useless Manchester United. Yes. That's where we are right now.
More like a disintegrated Manchester.
What a game.
It's not even a team.
What a game. Hey.
Do we want to do sports? Let's not do sports.
It's coming. Mind you, what's your song?
Benedict is up next.
Man United.